Having a pricing strategy increases the probability of your home getting multiple offers. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to price your home to sell pricing strategies. Hi, I'm Anant Dioris, a local eXp realtor producing video content for buyers and sellers of Chicago real estate. Today, I'm going to be giving you 3 pricing strategies to properly price your home to sell. And right off the bat, we're going to be talking about the most aggressive approach, which is aggressively underpricing your home to sell. Let me explain what this means. Let's say we're sitting down and the comparative sales or the market activity shows that your property is worth anywhere from $275,000 to $325,000, with the majority of comps being in that $300,000 range versus the $275,000. What I would be recommending is pricing the home anywhere from $275,000 to $285,000. And you're thinking, Anant, what are you talking about? Won't the bottom feeders come out? And more importantly, aren't I leaving money on the table? That may be very difficult for a prospective home seller such as yourself to get around. But actually what we're doing here is, for example, we are going to be putting the property, let's say we agree on the $280K for this particular example. We're putting the property on the market Tuesday or Wednesday, and already starting through Google, through Facebook, through social media, I'm very aggressively, in general, promoting properties when I have listings, but we do not allow any showings until the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. So we may still get those bottom feeders, but we're going to be getting a large amount of eyeballs, not just the bottom feeders, but everyone throughout the whole spectrum looking at homes up to 300 and even 300 more, looking at that probably because the perception is, wow, that is priced very, very attractive versus what else is out there. So they're going to be looking more at those homes versus some of those homes, similar homes that are above 300. So what happens? You get a massive amount of eyeballs on the property. You get a large amount of foot traffic in, if it's open houses, if it's showings. So that increases the probability of more offers. And yes, there's going to be a couple of bottom feeders in there, very low ball offers, 1 or 2, maybe even 3, but you may have 6, 7, 8 offers. And oh, by the way, typically in this scenario, from my experience, you're going to have 1 or 2 that are going to see that value and they don't want to miss out. So that buyer is going to instruct their agent to price above 300,000, 320, 325, and we'll be using that particular property as leverage to get the other offers up. And the end result is you get the highest and best offer for your property, and you can move on with your life with not leaving a single cent on the table. Option 2 is traditional means of pricing your property to sell. It's basically what I call the 2-for-1, 2 birds with 1 stone. In this similar scenario where we had the $275K to $325K, and basically if the comps are showing that there's basically even disbursement of properties along that price range, some below 300, some above 300. What I would advise my home seller clients is price at 300, and the rationale behind that is pricing in a lot of the major portals, your Realtor.com, your Zillow, your Redfin, are in 25 and 50K increments. So if you price below 300 thinking, okay, I want to attract that 300, you're missing out on the 300 to 350 range, and vice versa. If you think, well, I'm going to price it at 315, where you're missing people that are below 300. And if you remember in that first option, while we're maybe missing people that are looking above 300, that the property was so attractively priced because it was, again, this perception. A lot of selling is perception, okay? And it's an emotional aspect. So in this scenario here, you're hitting both. You're hitting the under 300 and you're hitting the over 300. If you price at 299, you miss that 300 and 300, usually 300 to 350 age range. And that's buyers that are searching on the portals, or if they have an agent and they're searching through the MLS. The agent will maybe be a little bit more savvy and may have a wide spectrum of that price range, but typically on those portals, and that's where a lot of home buyers start the process before they're considering purchasing a home. They're in that 25 to 30 price band. So that's kind of that 2-for-1 option number 2. Option 3, which actually I'm leaving the worst for last. Option 3 is trying to price outside of the range, or quote unquote overpricing the property, kind of thinking that that one buyer is going to come up to your price. It's just a horrible idea, folks. But let's talk about that. So in the same example I've been using, 275 to 325, pricing it at that high band mark, 325 or even 350. Again, thinking, okay, let's do this and keep it on for a couple of weeks and we'll find that buyer. Typically, in this scenario, the seller is not motivated and doesn't necessarily need to sell. And in these situations, I've had some of my best conversations with home sellers when I'm seeing this kind of mindset and I'm hearing this from them: hold off. Or, rent your property. You can rent your property. If you have it, you don't need to get the equity out of the home to purchase that new home, and you can manage that. Of course, you wouldn't be paying the 2 mortgages. You would be able to rent it. So, do that. Versus trying this strategy of kind of overpricing it and then sitting. Because what happens here is, in this market, we have low inventory, high demand. Typically the first 2 weeks is critical when your property hits the MLS and goes live. Now the first week is critical. If you try to wait for 2 weeks, all those good buyers, those motivated buyers, they've moved on. So then what you're doing is you're playing catch up. You lose any type of leverage, and the buyers actually have the leverage, and you're gonna be getting those low balls that you were worried about when you would aggressively underprice. You're gonna get it tenfold, and then market time is gonna accrue, because obviously you're gonna get a low offer, you're not gonna accept it, and buyers aren't going to meet your price. We can price reduce, but already we're behind the 8 ball. So that's kind of strategy of having a predetermined adjustment. It can definitely be done, but it has to then be done aggressively. So what I would do in this scenario is we could test that higher price, but no 14 days. We're talking after the first 3-4 days, maybe 5 days when it's on the market, after we allow showings, we need to get on the phone, have a discussion. I'll be giving you the data, what I'm seeing in the marketplace, and we need to aggressively adjust, basically answering what the market dictates.